And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm Professor J-Rod. In this episode, we'll go over, backed by popular demand, 8+ questions. We'll also talk about the new Security Plus exam and other stuff. Let's get to it. All right. So backed by popular demand, this is one of the topics that becomes very popular on this podcast, is going over 8+ questions. But before we get that, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. So as you know, Test Out and CompTIA merged early in the year, but so far we haven't seen anything that's out there as far as them changing the product, or changing, let's say, CertMaster that they use. Again, I'm not a big fan of Test Out to help you prepare for these exams because honestly, I don't think they do. That's just my opinion. I think if you getting into computers, Test Out is the way to go, but Test Out will not help you pass the A+ certification. Now, if anybody can prove me wrong, hit me up. Let me know if I'm wrong. But I've taught with Test Out, and I find it does not help with the A+ exam. The questions are too easy. You walk into that testing center overconfident by just using Test Out. And then you're going to walk out and say, hey, how come I didn't pass? So I'm not a good, but we'll see what happens. CertMaster is pretty good, but CertMaster is expensive, super expensive. So those of you who use CertMaster, it's a product by CompTIA, but it's expensive. That's why we do stuff like this, right? These podcasts. Also, the Security Plus exam, a new exam is coming out, 701. It's coming out in November. For those of you who were still studying for the exam. Now, that does not mean that you cannot take the 6. The 6 and the 7 will run parallel for 6 months. So those of you who've taken a Security Plus class, get to studying, right? Because you have up to probably April, May to finish of 2024 and get your certification. So, as far as me, I'm thinking about taking Pen Plus. What do you guys think? Should that be the next one I take? So last year I took Cloud Plus, CYS, A Plus, and then I have A Plus, Network Plus, Security Plus, and Fundamentals. So let me know what you think. Should Pen Plus be next, or should I take another one? Also, it's a possibility, guys, that I have a prototype made of a shirt that I might use as giveaways, but let me work on it. And I got a prototype. I might post it to my website. We'll see. And you guys let me know if you like it, but that's probably be next month that I'll do it. All right, let's get on with the questions. As always, you can follow along at my site, Professorjrod.com. I'll put the link in the show notes. That way you can follow along with the questions. This is the part 3 of doing this. And these seem to be one of our most popular podcasts. Once I do questions and answers on A+, the downloads skyrocket. And this is, I think, more 1102 than 1101. So let's get to it. First question. A customer is experiencing issues with the email and calls the help desk. The technician determines it would help clarify the issue if the customer agrees to share their desktop. Prior to establishing a remote desktop assistance connection with a customer, a technician should ask the customer to what? A. Close any items of personal nature. B. Reboot the computer and log back in. C. Capture a screenshot of the error message. And D. Take steps to reproduce the error. I'll repeat it again. A customer is experiencing issue with emails and calls the help desk. The technician determines it would help clarify the issue if the customer agrees to share their desktop. Prior to establishing a remote desktop assistance connection with a customer, a technician should ask the customer to what? A. Close any items of personal nature. B. Reboot the computer and log back in. C. Capture a screenshot of the error message. And D. Take steps to reproduce the error. Well, let's see. The one that we can get rid of right away is reboot the computer and log back in. That one, I mean, we don't need to do that before he established a connection, right? And it seems like a customer's experienced issue with the email and calls the help desk, right? I mean, you may want to take steps to reproduce the error, but you want to see it. That's not what you're going to do before establishing a remote desktop connection, right? So you may look at this, yeah, why can't you take steps to reproduce the error? You kind of want that, or capture a screenshot of the error message. Again, that's another good thing to do. But they're asking prior to establishing a remote desktop connection. So the answer is A. Close any items of a personal nature, right? When you're in tech, you're going to see things that you're really not supposed to see or of confidential nature. And, this is why you want them to do this, right? And you don't want them giving you their password because 3 weeks later something might happen and they'll turn around and say, oh, but I gave this guy or this lady my password, right? Knowing that you're not supposed to have it. So the answer is A, close any items of a personal nature. All right, next, question 2. A technician is attempting to manually migrate a user's profile from one Windows PC to another. Files in the user My Documents folder cannot be copied. Some files in question have green letters in the file name. Which of the following file systems is causing this to occur? exFAT, compressed EFS, or NTFS? So, I'll read it again. A technician is attempting to manually migrate a user's profile from Windows PC to another. Files in the user's folder cannot be copied. Some files in questions have a green letters in the file name. Which of the following file systems is causing this? A, exFAT, B, compressed, C, EFS, or D, NTFS? So, which one can you eliminate right away? Right away, you can eliminate. The answer is compressed, right? Compressed can be eliminated right away. The one thing that you got to worry, because again, sometimes the questions, the way they write it in CompTIA, being a college professor, I wouldn't write it in this manner. I think the way they write it is obviously there's some intent to throw you off, and I think this question they kind of do with the word file system. right? Because you're gonna think about, XFAT, FAT32, NTFS, right? But which what is the mechanism in Windows that gives you the ability to do encryption? Because that's where you're going to get the green letters in the file name, right? Which means that it's encrypted. And the only one of these is EFS, encryption filing systems. But it's not really a filing system like we think, like XFAT, NTFS, FAT32, stuff like that. But the answer is C, encryption filing system. It's not XFAT, it's not NTFS. So, but if you look at that word file systems, the key word is here is green letters in the file name. That's how you get your answer, right? Green letter in the file names equals that it's EFS. But throwing that file systems in there, I can see why anybody would choose NTFS and think it's right. All right, next. Question 3, a customer calls the help desk to report an issue. The customer suggests that the problem is hardware related, but the technician knows from the description that this is not the case. Which of the following is the best course of action for the technician? A, follow the customer's prescribed course of action. B, convince the customer to take a better course of action to resolve the problem. C, explain the customer's prescribed course of action is incorrect. Or D, acknowledge the customer's input but follow another course of action. Again, this is a tough one. A customer calls the help desk to report an issue. The customer suggests that the problem is hardware related, but the technician knows from the description that this is not the case. Which of the following is the best course of action for the technician? Remember, you're always going to get people who are quote unquote computer experts, right? So you gotta, have that balance. A, follow the customer's prescribed course of action. B, convince the customer to take a better course of action to resolve the problem. C, explain why the customer's course of action is incorrect. Or D, acknowledge the customer's input but follow another course of actions. Right? So, what do you think the answer is? The answer is D. You acknowledge the customer's input, but follow another course of actions. You let them talk and you explain to them, right? But in the end, you tell them, that, this is what you think is wrong, right? So, and you're gonna get a lot of customers that are like that. So, this is something that you have to get used to. All right, question 4. While navigating a Windows machine through command prompt, which of the following commands would a technician use to display the contents of the current directory? So this is just, using command line. So this is definitely 1102, right? So let's go. Again, while navigating a Windows machine through command prompt, which of the following commands will a technician use to display the contents of the current folder? A, cd, B, dir, C, md, or D, rd, right? So let's go over those commands. Cd equals what? Cd equals change directory, right? Dir means directory, right? MD means make directory, and RD means remove directory, right? Again, while navigating a Windows machine through command prompt, which of the following commands will the technician use to display the contents of the current server? All right, I'll give you a minute to think about it and let me know the answer. And the answer is, this is an easy one, is dir. dir. All right, directory. All right. All right, next. Number 5, which of the following security threats happens when one person enters a secure area with an authorized person? And it is A, tailgating, B, shoulder surfing, C, spoofing, or B, phishing. Which of the following security threats happens when one person enters a secure area with an unauthorized person? A, tailgating, B, shoulder surfing, C, spoofing, and D, phishing. Which ones do you think it is? Right? And the answer is, well, let's go over it. Phishing is a form of social engineering scamming, right? So that's not it. Spoofing, again, it falls into that category. Shoulder surfing, we know what that is, looking over somebody's shoulder, right? And tailgating is letting somebody in, right? Letting somebody in through a secure area with an unauthorized person. So the answer is A, tailgating. Tailgating is the answer. All right, next one. Which of the following features is being used when a smartphone is used to purchase a product at a retail kiosk? Which of the following features is being used when a smartphone is used to purchase product at a retail? It's not kiosk. It's a retail place, right? A, NFC. B, virtual assistant. C is retail kiosk, right? A, NFC. B, virtual assistant. C, SDK. And D, Bluetooth. Which of the following features is being used when a smartphone is used to purchase a product at a retail kiosk? A, NFC. B, virtual assistant. C, CDK. And D, Bluetooth. I'll give you a couple of seconds. And the answer is NFC, right? When you're purchasing something through a retail and you're using your phone, that is that's NFC, right? When you're going to, let's say Dunkin' Donuts and you pay, right? And you're paying through the phone, that is NFC, using NFC. So what are the other two? The other three? Virtual assistant, of course, you're not paying through Siri, right? SDK, software developers kit, obviously that's not the case, right? And D, Bluetooth. You can't really pay anything for Bluetooth, right? So, all right. Last but certainly not the least, is question 7. A user's smartphone runs very slow at the end of the day. Many of the users, when the user restarts the phone in the morning, it runs at its normal speed. Which of the following should be done throughout the day to best resolve the issue? A, reset the smartphone to factory default. B, uninstalled any unused app. C, close all running apps. And D, charge the smartphone. A user's smartphone runs very slow. At the end of the day, when the user restarts the phone in the morning, it runs at normal speed. Which of the following should be done throughout the day to best resolve this issue? A, reset the phone to factory reset. Uninstall any unused apps. Close all running apps. And charge the smartphone. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about it. And the answer is close all running apps. So it seems like there's an app, right? Because if you read it, a user's smartphone runs very slow at the end of the day. So that means there's something from the morning to the end of the day that is causing this. When the user restarts the phone in the morning, it runs normal, right? Which of the following should be done throughout the day to best resolve this issue? Right? Charging the phone, obviously, it's not going to do it. Uninstall any unused app, maybe, right? Maybe it's running slow if it's an Android because it's full, right? But that's not it. Reset to the smartphone to factory default. You're not doing that every morning. So the answer is C, close all running apps. All right. So hopefully you were able to follow along. Hopefully those who are about to take 1102 are able. This, it's a little help for you, right? And wish you best of luck. Again, I want to do kind of like a Zoom or WhatsApp live. I could do it on a Sunday. I'm free on Sundays. If anybody's interested, email me, professorjrod@gmail.com. Tell me that you're interested. I don't want to do it with one person. I think I did it one time last year or twice last year. I got like 2-3 people. I kind of want to get like a whole group, right? Trying to start a community. You guys know that. I want to get as many people as possible to get certified because this is a way, to make money and change your career. I have a lot of students now taking. I got one huge class of A+ students, and I have another of Network Plus. So there's a lot of eagerness out there to pass these exams. So again, I am more than willing to help anybody who wants help. So, and that's kind of like my mission. When I was, thinking about changing careers, this is, somebody helped me, so I want to give back. I didn't think I was going to be in academia I thought I was going to be in tech, tech land, but turned out for the better for me. But if you need help, email me, professorjrod@gmail.com. See if we can get a couple of people. Could do it Sunday. We could do it at a time where we can get a lot of people. I get a lot of people from Europe. We can do it in the morning. That way they can get involved. Yeah. So hit me up. Let me know. And we'll see you next time. This has been a presentation of Little Cha-Cha Productions, art by Sarah and music by Chocom. You can reach me at professorjrod@gmail.com. I'm also at Instagram at professorjrod.